Nord, you drift formless in vast nothingness, your essence inscrutable and powerless. You know not your origin nor destination, but something akin to instinct within yearns for power and purpose. Time passes imperceptibly, as your pantheon swims through the sea of stars. You witness at last the birth of a planet, one teeming with life and, more importantly, humanoid souls whose energy might give you strength. As the planet is pulled together, you fancy you spy some gargantuan hand, or possibly many hands, but soon the vision is gone and the planet is whole. Just as you and your kin hungrily approach, you see other deities far away with the same intention, like wolves to a lost lamb. This planet is soon to be sport for the gods and their followers. The first age is nigh. Your pantheon are unlike many of the other godlings approaching here, a little more experienced, a little more prepared, a little more potent. This land itself warms and forms to your will as it grows, forming a vast tundra mottled with forests. Without a corporeal form, you cannot hope to exert your power here, so I ask, what shape of flesh do you choose?
Nord takes the form of a large man with sort of pale blue skin. He has long hair fit for the, cold expanse, and horns protrude from above his brows. A large parka sort of appears, because of my words. I can just kind of say I start with clothes.
Good. It is the year 30 since creation. At a nameless tundra amidst nameless forests upon a nameless land, your age dawns here at this place. What is the first passage of your legend?
Nord is going to explore the forests. He wants to see what's up.
Good. Well, as you might imagine, you see great expansive howling wastes of snow essentially. Even here in the spring it's pretty chilly. It's a little warmer than you imagine it will get eventually. It is quite survivable given your current attire. And you travel off into the forest. Let me just take a look at my notes. I would like you to roll me an investigation check.
So wisdom.
Yeah, sorry,
correct?
Yes, wisdom. Yeah, sorry, perception I guess it would be.
Oh, no.
Cool.
Unfortunate.
No problem, it's just to determine what your wandering yields, essentially. So, yes, I'm going to roll a dice. Yes. Okay. You come across basically a small meadow of sorts. It's kind of a clearing in the middle of a forest. It's quite beautiful in its own way. There's these little white flowers. They're all clearly the same species, and they're spread out here in this clearing. It's peaceful, quiet, very pretty flowers. Do you continue on, or do you investigate?
I want to investigate.
Okie doke, so what do you do? With these? 'Cause these
Could I roll, So, could I try and, So,
To describe
I want to
these
try and
things.
figure out what they could do.
Sounds good.
I want to try and pick one. I want to see if I can discern any noticeable characteristics, any properties.
Good, you pick one. Wonderful. See, you reach down.
I'm... Yep.
Yes?
No,
Continue.
I figured this would trigger something.
Okay. So you reach down, you pick one, and it's a very pretty little flower. It's got these 4 kind of thin petals that thin out at the edges. Nice little yellow center bit. And you pull it out, and there's these roots that you pull out, and the roots kind of twist around very quickly, and sort of burrow themselves into your wrist. And the flower kind of lodges itself there. It just lodges in there. You've got a flower sprouting out. You start to feel pretty great. Like, the instant this thing burrows in, for a second it's very painful. And then it stops being painful. You just got a flower.
Can I have a intelligence check to make sure am I smart enough in this situation to realize that it's probably a parasite?
I mean,
Or some.
I mean, if you out of character, or like I say out of character, you if you're smart enough to suspect that, then your character would be easily.
Okay.
Like, unless your character's intelligence is a 6 or something.
My character's intelligence is a 17.
Yeah, your character's intelligence 17. Easily you would figure out it's definitely, if it's doing this, it's got to be something in it for the plant. Within those short order, you feel like pretty good though, and you feel your natural instincts, kind of like you've taken a hit of speed or something. You feel your natural instincts and your adrenaline steadily be a little bit faster. And it kind of levels out quite early. It's like you feel like you're at a slightly higher level of adrenaline, of awareness. You'll kind of feel awakened. You feel a little bit faster, a little bit quicker in all regards. And your eyes, there's kind of, your vision shifts a little bit, and you feel yourself being able to peer deeper into the shadows of the trees than you would before.
Odd. Nah, gonna leave it be for now. But Nord's keeping a note of this. He has a way to solve this problem, but he wants to wait.
Okay. So, what do you do next?
Hey, I wanna continue on. And while Nord's doing that, he wants to try and test out like what he's capable of.
Okay. As you
like I didn't get a real good chance to test out his capabilities before this.
Which capabilities? Do you mean your Godbound powers? Or do you mean...
just physical capabilities.
Physical capabilities. On your walk here, you were normal, your physical body was quite normal. Now that you've got this plant seems to have given you, definitely not new abilities, but you do feel much quicker. Like you are physically running at least 10 foot faster than you would have. Like your movement speed of 30 foot is now 40 foot. And you feel like, quicker, faster. You experimentally do a few jabs in the air. And it's like you're kind of on steroids. You just feel much like, wow, I could do, I want to do some shit. You do some jabs in the air. Just a little bit quicker than it was before. You do some, dodging experimentally to test out, how quick you are with your feet. Yep, you're going side to side. Nice and quick. Look into the darkness in a dark forest, you can see a little easier than you would have before, that's for sure. In darkness. And that's about it.
Okay. Do I feel like this thing's spreading any further past my arm?
Roll me an investigation check, which I would say would be either intelligence or wisdom.
Okay.
Okay. It doesn't look like, right now you don't see anything, traveling with any perceptible speed up your arm or anything. You look under the skin, there's you see, the texture under your skin has changed to a slightly different kind of greenish, yellowish color, where the roots have taken hold, but seems to be mostly inanimate.
Right. So I'm going to, using wealth, I'm just gonna, poof up some food. And I'm going to take a bite out of it.
Ah, wealth, wonderful. Yeah, you take a bite out of it. Tastes good. Tastes...
does the plant change at all once nutrition starts entering my body?
Doesn't look like it. No perceptible change.
Backburner right now.
It's really weird because you've just got you basically just have a pretty flower sticking out of your arm. It looks a little goofy having it because it's just coming out of the inside of your wrist. This... between your hand and your arm, and it's just there, just sitting there.
Like me poking at it do anything?
I mean, when you poke the flower, it reacts in the way a flower would. Ergo, it just sort of bends back.
Okay. Nord continues on in the forest then.
Okie doke. Roll me another wisdom perception check to... It's just to test your luck, basically.
Okay, that's fine.
Okie dokie. Alright. You see... basically... Oh, wait a minute. Let me just check one thing about this creature. Ah, yes, okay. You see little burrows, kind of like little rabbit holes, essentially. And as you kind of see them and you watch for a moment, you see a little creature come out of one of them. With the following description of what it looks like. A tiny 2-web-foot-legged omnivorous reptile. It has 4 long tails, which it can also use to manipulate objects. The creature seems to be most comfortable when hunched over as it searches for food. It has one grey eye, and its bumpy white skin is ridged at its back. The creature appears to be most naturally inclined towards stoic, individualistic behaviour. It has digging limbs, and when confronted with combat is most likely to use its sonic screech. So you see these little creatures digging around, they've got their burrows, you see them, you know, crawling along looking for food. Probably things smaller than it. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know how you know all that stuff about the sonic screech, but you do an investigation of these things.
I hear one scream and it kind of like,
yes,
you know.
You see a sort of wolf-like creature approach one of them at a distance, and you hear the "Ah!" and you see the creature just sort of stunned for a moment, flinching in pain from the horrible noise, and you see little creatures scuttle away down one of its burrows. And the wolf-like creature just runs away, essentially.
Alright. Gonna see if I can approach them as non-threateningly as possible.
Right, yeah. Let me just check. Yes. Okay.
Be charisma?
Yes, yeah, make me a charisma check for looking friendly. You see that some of them are dragging little things back like fruit or vegetables, and they seem to work by themselves. You don't see groups of these things going around, and one of them has like a little rat-like creature tied up in one of its tails. You see them manipulating these things with their many tails, using them like little tentacles or tendrils almost to manipulate objects. Success is that. Lovely. 17. Yeah, you approach one, although it, you know, doesn't welcome you per se. It stares at you in the confusion of a creature that's never before seen a creature like you. And you can see the kind of throat glands, its enormous vocal cord box, its enormous voice box, kind of, I guess, like pulsating in its throat, ready to scream at you if anything happens. It's very small, by the way. These lizard creatures are sort of cat-sized.
They're very tiny, especially compared to someone who's like 7 feet tall.
Exactly.
Nord sort of bends down. He's sort of taking note of what these things sort of gather. And he sort of produces one of them, like a small, like one of the small fruits.
Yeah, small fruits that they're into.
Sort of offers it.
Okay. Roll me another charisma check.
Oh no.
The creature, as soon as you extend a limb towards it, goes, "Aah!" And like you've rolled me a hardiness saving throw, so it just immediately had this like it was holding its action to just yell at you. So it'd be a hardiness saving throw.
Okay. Yep, that's why I figured. I'm bad at these.
So you get immediately, it is very painful to your ears, and you have to cover your ears up because it's just hurting your brain almost with just the horrible piercing wail. And then by the time 6 seconds has passed and the ringing in your ears has subsided enough that you're not in agony, you look and it's just scuttled away. You just see its tail disappearing down its burrow. And again, you don't see any of these creatures working together. Their burrows are just kind of in this vicinity of the forest.
I'm just gonna leave some like fruit around them and just leave.
Alright, you take off.
It was rude, but the offer stands, I guess.
As you do see that the creature that ran away from you, see its little beady eye peering out from the tunnel, and it watches you gather the fruit and just sort of pile it up in front of its burrow.
I just leave like a few near like a lot of them actually. I just leave like little things.
Yeah, and you see that they watch you do this. Hard to gauge their emotion as they watch you do this, but yeah, and then you just disappear off.
Can assume it's confusion.
You assumed correctly. Good job. Yeah, and then you just disappear off into the forest. What direction are you traveling in, by the way? North, south, east, or west? Or some combination of the two?
Say probably I want to go more around here first before I head out into the tundra. I want to explore these wooded areas.
Alrighty.
Forests.
Alrighty then, so...
Did the flower react at all to the sound?
Not at all.
Okay.
Let me just check something. Interesting.
I'm just gonna keep an eye out on like that flower unless other things start happening.
Okay then. So you go through the forest. Roll me a perception check. Good job, you see it. Okay. Before it sees you, you see it, which is quite easy to see because it is very large. Let me just open this up.
Oh, how large are we talking?
Oh, very large. Much larger than, say, a horse or a bison. I will describe it to you. As it stalks through the forest, a large 2 web-foot-legged omnivorous reptile with patatagium wings. It has 4 long tails. The creature seems to be most comfortable when squat as it stalks about. It has 2 golden eyes and its stripy orange scale is ridged at its legs. The creature appears to be most naturally inclined towards, well, I'll let you find that out. Actually, no, it's pretty obvious because it's chasing down basically a sort of buffalo creature towards aggressive loner behavior. It has a climbing grip and when confronted with combat, is most likely to use its vicious rage. You see basically an enormous vicious rage lizard chasing down what appears to be some kind of buffalo-like creature, leaps at it, and just bites its neck and twists. You hear a kind of crunch. And then some more crunches as it just sort of bites in and starts to eat it. And because it didn't notice you, it just sort of sits there eating it. You hear the horrible kind of sickening twists and crunches of flesh being rendered by its huge teeth.
I wonder, could I be able to make another check, like an int check, to try and figure out if there's any real thought behind its actions other than like animalistic instinct?
Yes. Yeah, that would be a wisdom insight check, I guess.
Okay. It would? Okay.
Good job. You discern that this thing is clearly just a very large apex predator.
It's just big.
It's just big.
It's an animal.
Big, chompy animal. You can see it's not really using its tails in the same kind of clever, manipulative way that the small lizards you met did. This thing seems to just be a big, dumb predator. The tails are probably for balance while it's flying using its kind of patatagium wings.
I'm engaging it now. I'm just gonna try and, like, move past while it's busy eating. On my way.
Okay, then roll me a stealth check as you try to creep away from this situation.
Would be Dex.
That would be Dex,
yep.
Yes.
Okay. Fortunate.
That is unfortunate. Yeah, you're like, cool, and then there was a twig hidden beneath a thin layer of snow, and there's that horrible crunch noise, and its head that turns around to see you basically standing mostly in the open-ish, but between some trees, like, it's sort of, as you're standing there with the broken twig beneath your foot, its big toothy maw opening, and it roars at you. It's about sort of 60 feet away, and it's your turn. You get first go, of course.
Okay.